legend where magic meets the heart. Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains new and old. Duncan, Jeff, and Sloan got the world of EVA we play.
Hello everyone, welcome again to Commander's Pod. I'm your pod father Duncan.
And I'm Jeff.
And Sloan is out today for a little change up. That doesn't happen often, but
Feeling a little under the weather.
yep. Hope he's feeling better. So today we're going to talk about whether commanders have become too central to the deck. Many people are complaining that they feel like the new commanders that are being built are so powerful you don't need to. It used to be you built the deck around the commander, and now you build the commander around the deck.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that. We'll have some tales from the table, a little Aggro Jeff, I'm sure,
Absolutely.
and some pro tips for you. We actually got a couple of tales from the table. So, but let's start. Aggro Jeff, what's aggravating you?
There is too much. I think this has been before, but I was playing with my kids. I've been playing a lot of Magic with my kids lately. There is almost not a game now that I don't have to get my phone out and figure things out or phone a friend. It's if you play 3 or 4 games, you're almost guaranteed to at least half of them require some sort of help for any type of interaction between things. Now, granted, we're playing with my decks, so maybe this is a symptom of how I build my decks, which I tend to like to have a lot of synergy. So maybe it's how I'm building my decks, but it's way too much. Like this, and I think it's getting worse. Like Magic was hard to begin with, but I think it's getting worse, and I don't know what they're going to do to fix it, but just maybe stop adding more like new things.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir. What do I complain about every new set?
Yeah.
They have to have new keywords, new abilities.
Yeah, but
stuff.
it ruins the flow of the game. So you're there playing with your kids or with anyone, and you're having fun, and then you got to stop, get my phone out, look things up, and understand this is with my kids, so we're not fighting. Like when I'm with friends and stuff, there have been like major disagreements where people are upset, and you're trying to do this.
Yeah.
My kids are just like, all right, Dad, we'll wait for the answer, Dad.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I use Dad. That's another thing that's aggravating me. That's my true aggravating. Oh, let's switch.
Okay.
So true aggravating me.
It's about the
I
dad,
have
not
been
about the...
daddy for 14 years. And now my kids tell me, as they're 12 and 14 years old, that I can't say daddy anymore. I have to say dad.
I did get a daddy for the first time in a while from my 11-year-old this morning.
Well,
that was
now
kinda cool.
I get corrected every day now. It's not daddy,
Well,
it's dad. And then I got corrected for being in the third person, which that was also kind of funny but annoying.
Well,
Yeah.
you should always be in the present. Not in the
Yeah.
third.
So there you go.
But as to your Magic-related aggro...
Yeah, which that was really a lucky thing.
I have them all the time when I'm just building a deck.
Oh, yeah.
So I was building a deck where it was going to be, you do, what's it called, from Bloomborough, Offspring.
Okay.
The commander that says you get Offspring
Yeah.
on all your creatures, you just pay an additional 2.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, that's awesome. I'm building him. Like, but wait, here's a creature with Bestow. If I bestow it, I'm still casting it as a creature. It's a trigger on the cast. But it has to come in for it to enter. So when it comes in as an enchantment, does that still count? Like there's all
So
these...
what was the answer?
I didn't get an answer.
You didn't get an answer yet.
I didn't get an answer.
Wild.
But I'm saying that's just one example of like things that come up. There's so many rules.
How are new players getting into this? Like this is so
You
confusing.
start small. You
mean,
start with a small group of rules.
You probably just play wrong for a long time.
True. Well, I mean, usually new players don't start in a vacuum. They're usually starting somewhere where there's people that know what's going on.
But we kind of did. I mean, like Johnny had played before, but when we started playing, if you recall, we didn't know anything.
No, it's true. But we also didn't care to know anything. We weren't playing anything super
Were we
complicated.
happier then?
We weren't. You don't tackle super complicated.
Were we happy knowing less?
No, I'm actually happier now. Like I like complicated. It's fine with me.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I get that. That is a generally good aggravation, and it is a problem. We play the most complicated game in the world.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have this, and it's just gonna keep getting worse.
And any of you people out there that have had to switch from daddy to dad, I feel for you. You could write in. We could talk about it. We can keep each other company with our frustrations there.
So, Tales from the Table. You want to do yours first?
Yeah, so my son Jaden, this was a big deal to him because he was playing my Storm deck, which is a lot of fun. What is that? Force of Nature? Storm Force of Nature?
Yep.
And he got Isochron Scepter out, and he calls it Scepter of Rapid Hybridization. Wow, that's a tough one to say. Because he put Rapid Hybridization on that Scepter, and so he basically, with Storm, he was able to just the most amount of creatures destroyed, I think, in any game I've ever played.
Well, and the thing is, you're making new targets. You can still destroy one of your Flizzards to get another Flizzard.
Yeah, but he didn't. He would do the Storm thing, and then it would count it, and then it would just go off.
Yep.
It was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a fun one. So mine it's again a pretty short one.
Yeah.
But I was having a tough time on Saturday getting lands.
Well, you don't put enough lands in your deck.
No, I do though. Normally I have no problems, but I will run into bad luck strings, and I'm not talking one deck. I pulled out 2-3 decks where I couldn't get more than 2 lands.
But some of your decks you play 32 lands, right?
That's almost a third of the deck.
That's not a lot, dude.
But it's almost a third of the deck. You should get lands eventually. In 6 or 7 hands with the same deck and keep shuffling, you should get it. And I couldn't get it.
That does happen.
So
that's rough.
I went with 2 lands against my better judgment.
Ramp or no?
I had a Mind Stone.
Okay, so that's something. I mean, it's color. How many colors? Probably one blue.
No, this was a 2-color deck, but I only got one of my colors with that 2 lands.
Oh,
yeah,
that's tough.
So I didn't get another land for a long time. And then when I got another land, it was another blue.
Okay.
Still hadn't gotten my, I think I was playing blue-black. Still hadn't gotten my black. And I was being interacted with, and I was interacting, but not a lot.
Yeah, because you play 32 lands. On top of that, you tend to play basic lands, a lot of basic lands.
Oh, yeah, a lot of basic.
So,
in a 2-color deck, that should be fine.
Yeah. Sometimes. It depends on how many you're playing. What are you playing out of the 32?
Out of the 32, it's 29.
Are basic?
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, I would not do that.
Yeah. No, I don't tend to play hardly any. I don't even put Command Tower in a lot of my decks.
Wow. Well, why?
Because I don't want to be burned by somebody who's playing non-basic land hate.
Okay.
And it's a crutch. Just basics all the way. But anyway, and so, like I said, they were interacting with me. I was interacting with them a little.
Okay.
But for the most part, I was being ignored, and I wasn't being very productive.
Because you're kind of stuck on mana, which is what happens.
Right.
People are you're going to leave you alone a little bit.
But here's what happened. I was playing against Sloan, by the way. He came out, and we were playing.
Okay.
And at one point, no, I'm sorry, it was not Mind Stone. It was a Soul Ring. So I did have a Soul Ring and 2 lands. So that's 4 mana.
4 mana, yeah.
So you can cast a lot for that, but you can't do anything big.
But you're in a 2-color deck.
And you're not going to chain 2 spells.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so at one point he looked over and he had a creature he could sacrifice and destroy target artifact or enchantment. He looks over at my Soul Ring.
Oh, no.
He goes, I can't be that mean.
Oh, he should.
See, he destroyed the player who was actually ahead. He destroyed one of his things.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's arguments for both.
I mean, because he basically takes you out of the game. You're done.
Right.
He basically kills you with that move.
He didn't do it out of, kindness, I guess.
Yeah.
Guess what came back to burn him?
I would gather
I won that game.
Yeah.
Because eventually, while they're fighting, I started hitting my lands, and then now I can do
Which
things.
always happens. This is why I tell people don't start with less lands, because not only is it bad for you, you might have a whole game where you do nothing, but so many times they come out of nowhere because you leave them alone.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a tough
Because
situation.
you saw people don't do the threat assessment correctly. They assess what's on the battlefield. That person who's been mana, light on mana the whole time.
Mana locked.
Yeah, they have full grip of cards in hand.
Yeah.
And it's all good stuff. Why? Because none of it's lands.
Yeah.
So as soon as they get lands, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
You might, at that point in the game, you have 1, 2, 3 cards if you're lucky. This guy's got 7.
Yeah. And his life total's usually pretty high. And
Yep.
yeah, it's a tough situation.
Right.
That's why when other people are doing it, I'm like, please, go get your lands.
Yeah.
Keep going until you get lands. We tend to play friendly mulligans.
And that's
but
probably why you play with 32 lands. I guarantee you, if you didn't play with friendly mulligans, you would not be able to do 32.
I do it all the time.
And
I can in a pinch make a 2-land hand work, but there's sometimes,
yeah.
I don't know how, but my lands are always in the other half of the deck.
Yeah.
It's just anybody can run into it no matter how many. I mean, not in a green deck where you're running 40 lands.
You know my deck, Galadriel?
Yeah.
It's all ramp, right?
Yeah.
It's it's elves, so it's elf ball. My son Paxton played it. It could not get anything going.
Yeah.
Now, I was playing Tom Bombadil, so I had a decent amount of destruction, but normally Galadriel's fast.
Oh, yeah, too fast.
And it didn't do anything for him. So sometimes those things happen where it's just
that's what I'm
like,
saying. It doesn't
run
matter how
into
many
the wall.
lands. But I did hear of a rule that I like, but you can only play this with people you trust and know.
Okay. So
you go search your deck at the beginning for any 3 cards.
Yeah.
Then you shuffle up, draw 4. That's your hand. No mulligan. That's it.
Any 3 cards?
Any
Why?
3 cards. Why? Because normally what you should do to be responsible is get 2 lands and a soul ring or 3 lands. But some people are going to be like, I want to get that one guy I want to get out. And so they'll take 2 lands.
There's a lot of times you're just going to lose on like turn 3.
It's possible.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying who you play against. So you're not going to play that against somebody who's like playing the super duper combo deck that's like, that they're going to go get their 2 combo pieces.
Doesn't it take away, the thing I like about Commander, which I think we're losing more and more of, and maybe we're going to get into it later, is just the idea that I'm going to flip the card off the top and I don't know what it's going to be. And that's the fun of it.
It is the fun of it, but the not fun of it is when somebody is sitting there doing nothing.
Which I would say, if you don't have the right, you should have mulliganed down to 1 less card probably at that point.
I did, actually. I did not do friendly for myself.
Yeah, go down to 2.
Oh, I'm not going down to 2 cards.
No. Go down 2 cards.
Yeah, I did. I was at 5.
Oh, were you?
And that's why I finally said,
wow.
I got 2 lands, then I got like 1 land, and I got 2 lands. And I'm like, okay.
Were you playing a powerful deck that they weren't letting you just go do it again?
No, I just choose not to because I'm one of the more experienced players.
Okay.
And like you said, I do play less lands. I try not to take advantage of that.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Because I play like 36 to 38.
Right, but you also tend to play green, which has ramp spells. You want to go get lands. I play blue, doesn't have any ramp.
Yeah, it's true.
So. But let's get into the commander's role in decks. So, as I said, many people feel that decks are too commander-centric now.
Right.
And the commander's too powerful, and so their deck is there to support their commander.
So you're talking like protection spells?
What
are you talking about to support the commander?
So whatever your commander does,
yeah,
your deck is built to support and enhance that.
Okay.
Whereas many people felt like it before, it was your deck was the theme and your commander facilitated. You know what I mean? Okay. So if you're playing a goblin deck, Krenko facilitates goblins. Yes, he can make a ton of them.
Enchantment deck, Sithis supports enchantments, but if you don't play Sithis, the deck still works.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And they feel like now, so I'm using some commanders that actually aren't current, but they're still some of the biggest problems. Tulane and Prosper.
But Tulane is a artifact deck, right?
No, Tulane's the one where when you play a creature, you get to draw a card, play a land, and you can you draw a card and play a land, and I think you can cast another creature. I don't know.
We can look it up.
Let's look it up.
I don't know that Tulane fits that because you can play whatever.
No, but the thing is, people chain it. There's a chaining effect.
So excuse us as we look this up.
Tales. I thought I knew what he did until you asked me.
Yeah, well, Vigilance, whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card, then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. I would say that this is a creature deck. Now, is it combo, or are you saying some people are building Tulane combo or something?
They build it chained. So they play things that bounce their cheap creatures back so they can cast it again for
stuff.
1 mana that they got off the Tulane trigger.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So like that. And then Prosper, of course, is you exile a card at the end of your turn. You may cast that card for as long as it's exiled. Whenever you cast a card from exile, you get a treasure.
Yeah, does a Prosper deck do anything without Prosper?
No.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about.
I mean, it can because you tend to have other things that exile things, but you're not getting the benefit.
Yeah, but you really need to be getting that benefit.
Yeah.
Like this Tulane just makes the deck better.
But people, like I said, though, people play it. The creatures they tend to play.
Yeah.
It's all built around like low cost. Like the Shrieking Drake is like the pinnacle of the deck because you play that for a single blue mana. You can bounce a creature, you bounce it back. You draw a land, you play it.
Yeah.
You tap it for a blue, you play them again.
I don't think this is new.
No, it's not new, but they feel like some of the newer commanders that they're coming out with are like these, where they're very self-centric. Wolverine, okay? Wolverine is built around Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But isn't that not true for almost every what is it called when you're Voltron? That's just Voltron.
No,
That's
but I mean,
all Voltron is.
Okay, let's take the Storm deck you built.
Yeah.
Take Storm out. How's the deck?
But isn't that true for almost every Storm deck? That not Storm as the commander Storm, but the idea of a Storm deck is that you typically want that commander.
No, a normal Storm deck, you're just casting a bunch of spells, trying to get a bunch of spells, and you play Storm spells. That's a normal Storm deck.
Okay, but I mean I can see that, but at the same time, like you look at like draw decks. Remember blue-black commander where you draw and everybody takes damage? It's real popular old school commander.
You mean the red, blue, black? The Nekusar?
Nekusar, yeah.
Yep.
Red, blue, black. Okay, so Nekusar is very much built around Nekusar.
Not at all.
You don't think so?
There are so many creatures and enchantments now that deal damage when their opponents draw a card, and then you have things.
So that deck you could play without having Nekusar out?
Yep.
I'm trying to think what decks I have. I have a wheel deck that definitely wants my commander out. Without my commander, it really doesn't do its thing at all because it makes snakes and then pings you typically with other stuff. So I have a few of those, but I don't know.
I mean, I do feel like that's the trend.
Huh.
So, like, is this a problem though?
Well, why do you think it's a problem?
Some people are complaining about it, saying this is a problem. So I'm saying, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, it's not affecting me at all. I don't care. It seems like they're choosing the decks that I have that are like that. I have to build a lot more protection in those decks. Yeah. Now, I tend to not have a problem with that because I already love I'm the Teferi's protection guy. Like, I love that stuff. I think it's hilarious. So I don't have a problem with it, but it is more difficult to win with those decks. Like, I still like the Atraxa deck, my landfall decks, where it's like, I could never play my commander. I'll still beat you. I don't care. But the one where you have to play your commander, I feel like that's playing on a harder level.
I do too, because I don't know why it's a complaint. It's not a problem to me, because if I'm playing against somebody, and they obviously, the deck is dependent on the commander, you punish that commander. You make that commander cost so much commander tax that you're never going to see it again.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That's my answer to
Now,
it.
the thing that's different in it is, which might be the problem, because I think they might be conflating two ideas, which the problem isn't that there's a commander-centric deck. The problem might be that the commander-centric deck has a commander that's absolutely broken. Like, I look at Tulane and I go, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's just so powerful. And the same thing with the Treasurer one too. What was his name?
The new one, the Sonic.
Yeah, the one that Johnny plays that we just talked about.
That was
I already forgot it 2 seconds ago. Prosper, thank you. So Prosper is also just broken. It's just too good. The Ninja Commander.
Yeah.
Again, that deck's built around him because you want to flip stuff off the top to damage people. You can hit them for 10 damage out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Those cards are just too powerful. So if you're conflating two ideas, which is build your deck around a commander or build your deck with a commander that's too powerful, I think they're just conflating two ideas. Their problem isn't that the deck's built around the commander. Their problem is the commander's too powerful.
I would go a different route. Their problem is they don't play enough removal. I think the people that complain about this are like, well, how do I deal with it? You don't play enough removal. You don't play enough counters. You don't play enough ways to punish that commander and make him unviable.
But not everybody necessarily wants to... Look, everybody should play some interaction, right? But not everybody wants to play a game where your commander is so powerful I have to be ready to kill it on sight every single time. Some people want to play a little bit of battle cruiser where you get to play your cool stuff, I get to play my cool stuff, and let our cool stuff battle it out and see whose cool stuff goes best.
With Tulane and with Prosper, I would say with both, When they get a couple triggers from their commander, it's not a problem. It's when they get 4, 5, 6, 7, it's just rolling. They keep getting...
Right, but that can happen in one turn.
Right, but I'm saying that's when you kill it, is when they start trying to do that.
And my point is they're a kill-on-sight commander.
I don't say you're kill on sight. You let them do it a little bit. You say, okay, that's enough. Get rid of it.
On that same turn, though. You can't wait 2 turns to do it.
Well, no.
You can't get Prosper out and be like,
removal's
in 2 turns.
usually instant speed if it's good.
But what I'm trying to tell you is not everybody wants to have so much removal that at any given point they can deal with the threat commander the moment it comes out.
Well, no,
or even within that
but
turn.
if everybody generally played removal, which I don't think now generally is the case. I think the better players play it. Some of the others, I'm not saying all the people that don't play it aren't as good, but I think as a general rule, the better, more experienced players play it. But if everybody at the table was playing it equally, you don't have to have it. Maybe I have it. Maybe he has it.
Yeah, I mean, that does help. But like what I see happen a lot is like you're playing Galadriel, right? Which is going to be, it's going to be less removal, but there's some counter spells. There's some removal because I put removal on all my decks. But really what you're doing with Galadriel is I want to build up my board, and then my removal is remove that threat. But what happens is people have their single target removal and they can't wait. They're like, I have 2 mana up right now, so I got to use it. They're like, I got this card and I got this mana. It's like people who get their paycheck and go right to Walmart or wherever to spend their money. And it's like, don't. Just wait. There's not a threat. It's so what? Galadriel's building up. It's not going to do anything until it becomes a problem, and then you just board wipe.
Right.
And then there's nothing. But what you've done is you spent all your interaction because you had to spend it. It was burning a hole in your pocket. And then the guy plays the actual threat, and you got nothing left.
Right. And I feel like that's what people say. Oh, I tried playing removal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you removed Wolverine Riders.
Yeah.
But you don't have a removal now for, Chilean.
Right.
It's like, well, that was a mistake.
But by the way, Galadriel, I think, is just as gross as either of those.
Galadriel's very powerful, but Galadriel's one of those ones where, like, you got to stop her, but she's not gonna combo kill you. She's gonna attack you.
No, but she's gonna chain out a ton of creatures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have to. But when you see that happening, you're gonna have a response. I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of Chilean decks. Actually, I haven't played a ton. I've seen Chilean. Obviously, we just looked at them. But Prosper, I've seen, and it absolutely can win out of nowhere.
So Chilean is very, very powerful. You're getting free mana.
Yeah.
You're using that to cast more creatures or spells to get more free mana, and to the point where I built Chilean 2 ways. I built him normal.
Okay.
I was like, okay, that's super powerful. And I was like, I'm going to build him with a theme. Okay. So then I did it with enchantment creatures and kind of made him an enchantress deck.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And it was probably still gross.
It was still gross. Not as gross, but it was still gross. Like, you can't even trying to handicap myself. He's just, like, so powerful.
Yeah.
You know? It's one of the few decks with blue in it where you can actually, like, ramp like crazy. You know? So I'm just saying that there are a ton of these commanders that are pretty much the cheese stands alone. They don't need the deck to function, but the deck function or too much. You know what I mean? It's not so dependent on the deck as it is the deck's dependent on the commander.
Yeah.
I would say as a general rule, I think if your deck is not focused on your commander, you have a more rounded deck. You are going to be able to survive more tribulations because you're not dependent on that one card.
So, I mean, sometimes it just depends. I mean, like, I have a landfall deck, and I chose the commander to be one where I don't have to play it.
Right.
And a lot of times I don't. Matter of fact, I play it a lot of times just Uro.
Yeah.
So I play Uro just to draw a card and place a land, just for value. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't matter. But that deck isn't necessarily more resilient than, say, a Storm deck.
Right.
So the question is just like, when do you go for it? That's my biggest thing. I see people go. So people will play out all their stuff, Duncan, and they'll be like, oh, then they'll get blown out, and they're like, oh, I got nothing. It's all because my deck is dependent on my commander. It's like, no, because you went at the wrong time and you left nothing back for yourself.
Well, so that's
you can't respond to that because you have nothing left.
That's Andrew's greatest flaw, right? I've
Just
pointed
full
this
bore.
out to him
Yeah.
so many times. He's like, yeah, it's exactly. He says
Yeah.
unabashedly, yeah, I do. I play everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to play everything I can play. I just want to just vomit it out there
Yep.
and go at you.
Yeah, then you won't have resiliency. That's
Yeah.
not a matter of whether the deck is built around the commander or the commander around the deck. That's a matter of how you're playing the game.
Right. And that's just how he is. He's all in all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when things happen, it takes him a while to recover, which is why he gets so upset and tends to come after whoever did it.
Yeah, because that's all he's got. Once
Yeah.
he's done, he's done.
Yeah, now he's like, now all I'm going to do is come after you.
Yeah, where if you play that style where you're like, hey, I'm going to play out my threats. I'm going to put myself in a position to be in a really good position, but I understand it's turn 5 and a board wipe is coming. So I'm going to hold some of these creatures back. And I'm going to hold some of my ramp creatures back. And people are like, why didn't you ramp out faster? Because it's turn 3. In 2 turns, someone's going to play a board wipe.
Yeah.
And you just know that. So when someone plays that board wipe, you look around the table and 1 card, 2 cards, maybe 3 cards, and you're sitting on 4 or 5 cards, you're winning.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you're sitting on 4 or 5 cards and you're like, those don't help me at all.
I mean, yeah. Maybe take a look at how you're building your decks.
No, but it can
4
happen.
or 5 cards in your hand
you
don't
have like
do anything
4,
for you.
sometimes you have like 6 or 7 cards in your deck that are just like, well, in these situations they're really good.
Sure.
And you happen to end up with 3 or 4 of them in your hand at the same time.
Yeah, when the other guy's about to win and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I wish I just had single target removal right now. So, yeah.
That
does
it
happen.
happens.
But I do think in this discussion what we're looking at is play style, power of the commander, less about how you build the deck. Because you build a Voltron deck, it probably has a lot to do with that commander. That's okay. That's what it's designed to do. I have a wheel deck, and it's absolutely dependent on the commander. And I would challenge you that if you're like, oh, it's good, I'll just deal with that commander, you will lose every game you play against me with that deck. Because by the time I'm playing my commander out, I have counter spells. I'm ready. I'm going to play my commander, and I'm going to win. You should have dealt with the things that got me in a position to do that.
Yeah.
It's the enchantments. It's the, every time I play a creature, it's going to ping you for 1. That's what's going to kill you. Not my commander. My commander coming out is going to make a lot of snakes. If there's not the ability to ping with that, you won't lose.
Unless you swing 30 snakes at somebody.
What do you want to kill there? Whatever's giving them haste. If they don't have haste, it's not a problem.
Oh, unless you don't have mass removal, then
Right,
a turn later
but you're
it's a
going around a
problem.
whole turntable. Someone's going to come up with
Yeah.
something. But those are the type of things where you have to assess the correct threat and then know if they have blue and their commander can win with what they've got on the board, they're going to have a counterspell.
Right.
So you either have to talk to the rest of the table and decide, can we work together? And I'm going to try to destroy it and fail, and then you're going to destroy it and succeed.
So can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So in the Pre-Con League, which we're about to start the new season
Ah,
next week.
so excited.
Yeah, you're going to be in it, Simon. It's going to
Yeah.
be fun. But Sloan won't, and that's sad, but oh well. But what happens so often, I would get away with winning because somebody assumed I had a counterspell in my hand.
Yes, make them have it. You always got to make them have it.
People would be going at somebody who was also maybe playing blue. Like, counter that. He has a counterspell, they'd reply. They'd be like, I'm not, it's just silly. No, he wins. We're good. And it's like, I'm thinking I didn't have one.
That's wild. You always make them have it.
Yeah.
Always make them have it.
I mean, you take a shot. If that's the only chance you have to stop them from winning a game, try it. Mm-hmm. There is no harm in trying it. What's the worst that happens? You still
just
lose?
hold a little back in case they do, though. Like, have a backup plan. That's so important. Always have a backup plan.
Well, but if the person's about to win and this is your only chance to stop them, there is no backup plan. You just stop them.
That is true. But if you stop them and you have no way to win afterwards, then
yeah, I mean that's the case too. Sometimes you do
kinda
just
put
need to
yourself
know when
in
the
a bad
game's over.
position.
Well,
Yeah.
and sometimes you need to know when the game's over. Yes, you can stop them from winning, but then what?
yes.
You know.
And well, that's what I'm saying. The other turns, something happened. Why did you end up in that position where you have nothing to do now?
Well, sometimes it's because they're the player that played all their stuff.
That's right.
And
Well,
now
I was
they have
saying
nothing
don't
left.
do that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean these things happen. But to get back to the point, I feel like yes, probably the commanders are more commander-centric now, a lot of them, and probably pretty pushed compared to a few years ago.
They're definitely powerful, yeah.
But if you play proper removal, you have ways to deal with it, and I don't think it's that big a problem.
Okay, so we're on the same page on that, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember when Urza came out, he was a problem. You know what I mean? Like, he was far and beyond worse than almost anything we had seen.
Right.
You know, now he is kind of relegated to CDH, but he is now, like you said, a kill on sight commander.
Right.
You learn to kill him on sight. Those super, super powerful ones, you just know when they come out, counter it or kill it.
Which those are conversations you can have beforehand, too. If someone throws out a deck and you're like, Prosper, and you're like, I don't want to play that type of game.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this is the deck I want to play. You can just be like, well, I'll move to another table. You don't have to play those decks if you don't want to. I bust out an Atraxa and you're like, well, I just don't like Atraxa. Great. I can get a different deck or you can play somewhere else. Just have the conversation.
We've talked about this before, but certain commanders are just a certain power level and you really can't build them otherwise.
Yeah.
And I wonder, we're going to get more commander bracket rules this month, hopefully. Some
Possibly.
tweaks to the rules.
Yeah.
And I wonder if maybe it's possible they might do something with like tiered commanders. Because I do feel like I don't care how many game changers you have in your deck. If you play Urza, it's not a 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's very true. Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think there is some commanders that automatically have this is their basement. This is as low as they can be built. I would say,
Do I have any commanders like that?
I mean, Galadriel might be like that. Atraxa might be like that.
Yeah, Atraxa really is what's in the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of the things I hope they address. But
vampires, Edgar Markov.
Edgar Markov, yeah.
Edgar Markov, you could build that deck with no game changers. It will still stomp your face.
Yeah, you cannot.
You could build it with freaking commons. And
maybe you could build it a 3 if somehow you found all vampires that come in tapped or something.
Well, if you played all vampires, it costs more than 5.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you could build it a 3, but it's probably a 4 or 5. You know, so there are. I'm hoping maybe they might work something like that in. And I also think while I'm on that subject, which is kind of a tangent, I do hope that they have a system where some of the game changers are worse than others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're not all created equal. Yes, they're all game changers, but some of them have a much higher weight.
But let's preference everybody. Let's get everybody in the right attitude for this because it's going to come and it's going to be different. So those of you that are out there, prepare yourself for change if you're not early adopters. If you're late adopters and that's always a struggle for you, prepare yourself now because the last thing I want to hear is that they're going to make changes. There's always going to be a critic of whatever changes they make.
Yep.
Just give it a chance. Try it.
There is 0% chance of them creating a perfect system. 0%.
Right.
Magic is too complicated.
Even if they created the perfect system, there's imperfect people playing it who will screw up the perfect system.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
Or game it unintentionally.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But also realize whatever changes come, it's still not the end result. We're still not finished with the bracket system. This is the second build.
And you don't have to use it.
I don't think they should have called the first a beta. I think they should have called it an alpha, but because this is like a beta.
Maybe it felt a little bit inferior to the other ones.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is the second iteration of their beta. We're not done yet. They're still going to have changes after this. Maybe, hopefully, they won't take as long. Maybe this time, I think a year or almost a year is too long to make changes to this. But they want to make sure they do it right, and they want to make sure people have a chance.
Slow is typically better in these type of circumstances. If you have a choice between fast and slow, you want to choose slow. Just like when Congress is getting ready to do bills and stuff, we'd rather them be slow.
Yeah.
We don't want them making changes with important things quickly. Take your time.
My thing would be, though, I think they should I want the end result to take a while, but I want them to be a little quicker to make some slight adjustments.
I mean, you say that if the slight adjustments are ones that you like. You'll feel very different if the slight adjustments are ones you think ruin it.
I mean, that's true. I don't want to make any knee-jerk reactions and
Yeah.
like,
So
a
just,
new
if they
commander
just
came
do
out,
it
bam.
very slow and purposeful, it will probably be better.
Well, it's probably true. But my main point is this new set of rules does still not mean that this is the end.
No.
This is still
And
a
you
beta.
still don't have to listen to it.
No.
You can still do whatever
It's an
you want.
optional rule
You
set.
could be like, don't tell me
but
what to
they're
do.
trying to help. If you don't have a situation where you have a problem matching up with other decks, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't need it. That's not for you.
Unless you don't think you have a problem, but everybody you're playing with does.
Yeah. Unless you are the problem.
If you lack self-awareness, you might be the problem.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, there is that. But in general, I don't think the commander-centric thing is a problem.
Nope.
Some of the pushing could be argued to be a problem.
The power of the commanders is probably a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's something we can adjust to, and it's not going to break the game. I don't think anything came out in Final Fantasy or in Edge of Eternities that I would say needs to be banned. Some people are talking about Vivi needs to be banned. I don't think it's a problem. The problem is when people are trying to play a CEDH Vivi against your Tier 3 deck.
Yeah, like Vivi, isn't Tifa pretty powerful too with like the landfall killing you out of nowhere? But remember, Wolverine could kill you out of nowhere also.
Yeah.
So could Storm. Like they're just different types of
The
decks.
amount of time I have with Wolverine killed somebody on turn 2 or 3 is not insignificant.
No, it's a lot, but then you die right after. Typically,
Yeah.
You're like, there you go, I killed one guy, and now you're dead. Because
Yeah.
Wolverine, you have to put everything out. You have to go.
Yeah.
Like you can't really hold anything back.
Yeah,
Like,
I have to tap to attack somebody. That means that leaves me open.
yeah, and then you have to play all the cards to do the thing, which means you don't have cards in your hand.
And I
So
don't have
you're-
blockers.
Yeah, so then you're done after that.
Yeah.
But it is fun for that. But then people are like, that's too powerful. It's like, you just lost and he lost. You're just mad you were the one he chose to target. Like,
Although, but really, honestly, on turn 2 or 3, they usually are not in a situation where they can kill me yet. I can usually get 2.
two,
and
right?
then
But
I-
it's hard to get all the way through.
Yeah.
It's sort of like old school Mill. Like I think Mill's a little different now. I've probably changed my opinion on Mill, but early on, Mill was like, yeah, I'm gonna mill 60 cards and aggravate people for the whole game, and then all you do is lose to aggravated people who you can't kill because milling 100 cards 4 times is used to be very
I
difficult.
milled out Bill, but now Tim and John are going to kill me.
Yeah, because they're aggravated because you took half their deck and put it in the graveyard. Yeah.
So, yep. Player tips. This was just a quick one I wanted to do. Keeping track of your triggers. So it's something I a little bit touched on last week. It kind of crosses over with this, but there's a lot of stuff going on, like you said, in some of these decks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to keep track of. Especially, I'll use the counter intelligence deck from Edge of Eternities as an example.
Oh, +1/+1 counters.
+1 counters, charge counters, stun counters, shield counters, indestructible counter, like whatever. It's like there's all this
Remember
stuff.
when Magic just had +1/+1 counters and that was the only counters?
Yeah.
Those were the days.
M-1. But anyway,
Yeah.
and my biggest suggestion is the thing I said last week about +1 versus charge. If you need different colored dice or different denominations of dice, some way to differentiate between the counters.
Yeah.
You can buy stuff, you can use stuff. Things like shield counters. I've even seen people grab a piece of paper real quick, tear off a piece, and write shield on it.
Yeah, that works.
Do something, though.
Yeah.
Do something to signify what it is. Because when you have a bunch of stuff with a bunch of different counters or a bunch of triggers that you need to keep track of, like storm counters, right?
Yes, you have to count that out.
You have to count that
Even
out.
mana. When someone's going to get mana, that little card that everybody's using that has the different mana symbols, and you count them, make people use that. Because otherwise they're going to accidentally do it wrong.
Yep. Maybe have a red, a blue, a white, a black, a green die that you can keep track of that colored mana, whatever decks you're playing.
Do something, though. Write it down on a piece of paper. That works, too.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yep, whatever it is. The problem I would say is there's a lot of times it's like I want to keep track of something because I know I have something in my hand that matters. I don't want people to know.
Well, that's why I'm saying you could write it down on a piece of paper next to you.
And people are going to be like, what are you writing down? Oh, I'm just taking notes on the game.
Just notice the color of your eyes, and they're very pretty. Just writing that down for later.
Yeah, that's a little creepy. But anyway, but keep track of these things somehow. That's how games get messed up. That's how you end up with just
The thing I have to do, the number one thing I do that my family does too, is I have so many triggers off the top of the deck, like
scry triggers or
any of that type of stuff.
Yep.
Even extra draws and things like that, or Monarch or any of those things. I always put the card that's going to trigger on the top of my deck face up.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've done before, if I haven't remembered to tell everybody else what I'm doing, so there's been times, Duncan, where you've been like, what's that thing on top of your deck? I'll be like, oh, that's just to remind me of my trigger.
Right.
So you can do things like that, but my encouragement to you would be don't do what I've done. Actually tell people what you're doing. Like, I'm putting this on top of there for a reason. For my memory.
Because the problem with the way you do it is it works good for you, but there are people who, like, when they reveal a card off the top of the deck, they'll leave it face up on top.
Correct, yeah.
So just to be nice and be like, hey, just remind you guys.
Explain it to other people,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't put the card up there. I put a dice or something up on top so I remember, hey, I have a trigger.
Yeah, but I'm so bad. I just like, oh, there's a dice on there for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, it's really
I
awful
must have
to
put this in
actually-
the wrong place.
Yeah. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember why the dice is there. Like, I'm like, I don't know what that means.
I mean, but like if you're trying to keep track and you don't want people to realize, like he said, you can write it down. It does seem a little suspicious when you do that out of nowhere. My recommendation would be to just quietly take a dice and put it to the number while nobody's
I think you lean back, right? You tilt your glasses down, and you get it out, and you start writing while you're making eye contact with them. Because then it just seems like you're in a counseling session and they're just writing down things they're worried about. And you make comments like, yeah. And how do you feel about that? And then they don't know what you're doing. They're going to get very worried.
Yeah.
I think this is a plan right there.
Oh, there you go. If you want to have a little fun, you can do something like that. But keep track of things somehow and make sure you can differentiate. Don't make it complicated for you or anybody else.
Yeah.
So, but that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to check us out, you can always find us at YouTube, youtube.com/@commanderspod. You can check out our website, commanderspod.com. You can, if you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/commanderspod. We'd love to have you join us. You can always find us on all the streaming websites, Spotify, Audible, iTunes, all of them, iHeartRadio, whatever it is. And remember, play bold, swing wide, and don't forget to pay the one.
Commander Pod, where the stories unfold.